yes, as this was kind of sprung, or I kind of shot myself in the foot by volunteering yesterday, I don't have one of my wonderful presentations slides prepared, but I have I have drawn words on bits of paper, so I'll use those. I was quite happy to speak about personal development because it is something that is integral here, and we should all be very much doing it. And I've been doing it for many years. In fact, on the side of my desk, I have this pink folder. This pink folder is my personal development folder, which we'll come on to in a moment. Let me just get the timer up so I make sure I don't ramble on for too long. Right, so five points from me on personal development, and they all start with values. Values, essentially the reason we wake up in the morning and the decisions we make every day, it all comes down to our values. And I think if you don't at this moment in time know what your core values are, and you should have maybe 3, maybe 5, I think it's absolutely fundamental that you do, because it determines, like, the people you interact with, the things you do each day, even like, the reason you wake up in the morning, or what you have to eat. It's kind of makes life so much easier. So I'll share mine with you. I've got 5, kind of 2 secondary ones, but the 3 core ones for me are: number 1 is fun, because if you're not having fun in life, what's the point, essentially? So my number 1 value is to have fun in everything that you do. Number 2 is people. My name, Mick, it's not my marketing name, but it's a name that's been simplified for the English speaking countries, but my full name is actually Mikołaj, which is Polish, and it comes from the Greek Nikolaos, which means victory of the people. And throughout my entire life, it's everything I do has been about connecting with people, interacting with people, enjoying the company of people, caring about people. So I think this is probably the most integral, central value of mine. Kind of everything I do involves people, and helping people, enjoying the company of people, and just it's. At the end of the day, we're in a world with many people, and we should love, cherish each other, and live in harmony. So people, yes, at the very centre of what I do. And the third value is creativity. So I'm very much in my element when I'm creating things, whether it's a marketing strategy for someone, whether it's a theatre production, whether it's a radio show. I'm very much in my element when I'm kind of being creative with other people. So those are my core 3. The second point to personal development to me is reading. And I find it's absolutely it's almost like you upgrade or level up every time you pick up a book and read it. At the beginning of the year, I read this one, The E-Myth, which is why most small businesses found what to do about it. And it was a complete eye-opener, and I was just like, wow, I've been in business, set up businesses, but there are so many things that that still needed to be put in place and whatnot. Stephen Church actually very kindly, we exchanged books last year. He gave me a book, Curious, and if you pick up a good book, there's always references to other books within it, and I got books off the back of it. Here's another one that kind of, this is like my mini Bible. It's not how good you are, it's how good you want to be, by Paul Arden. So that's one that's kind of been on my shelf for probably over 10 years. And there are so many others. I'll quite happily, if anyone wants to have a chat about books, I've got plenty of book recommendations and happily exchange book ideas. So yeah, reading, absolutely essential. The third one is vision and belief. And what Julie was saying earlier about having a picture and kind of never letting anyone shame your goals. My ultimate goal that I'm working towards and have already found like a goal partner for is owning a castle. So I'm working towards owning a castle, and it's so important to have that vision firmly in place. And my goal partner, Morgan, she when we talk, her goal is so crystal clear. She kind of can describe to me a morning where, like, once the idea of, and we've talked about values as well, and going back to people and community, that's one of the central things. We're looking to build a castle, or own a castle which will centre around community and have lots of people there. And her vision, she can describe to me a morning where she wakes up in the castle and she's walking across the outside of it, and she's described very, like, you know, how the air feels, the smells, that it's so important to have that vision in mind that you can strive towards. And as I think who was it? Jess was saying earlier how you kind of have that ultimate goal, but you break it down and work towards it. So there's so many steps, and obviously that's a kind of like a longer term. It's going to take a couple of years to get there, but it's kind of baby steps all throughout. And as long as you're being consistent and focused, and you're not getting sidetracked like Stephen Church, you're well on your way. And actually, funny enough, is number 4. So actually doing things, it's all well and good, and it's all well and good kind of saying about how you're going to do things, and, you know, making plans and writing things down, but actually it's actually just a case of getting up in the morning. If you have things scheduled, perfect, but just doing it. And one of my friends who I used to do radio shows with, a chap called Balv, he's the prime example, and I kind of see him as one of my heroes when it comes to doing, because we on one evening on the radio, we were talking about goals and bucket lists, and, you know, what we aspire to achieve. And one of the things, that this is a very simple example, and his life kind of, it goes beyond that, but he said one evening on the radio, I really fancy getting a tattoo. And the next day, in the group chat, he was like, oh, by the way, guys, I've got a tattoo. He's just a prime example of just, if he says he's going to do something, he goes out and does it. So yes, doing. And then the final bit, we'll come onto the pink folder, is tools. So kind of, this is what keeps you focused and staying on track with that vision and the belief. Just to elaborate on the belief, it's also having, a lot of the books I've read is about having that confidence in what you believe you're going to achieve, and not letting, kind of, as Julie said, not letting people kind of shame your goals. So some of the tools I've kind of developed over the years, and this folder dates back to I think 2005, so 15 odd years. And one of the documents I've seen in here is a wish list from from 2005, and in that wish list I've got number 11 was persuade my parents to get broadband. Goal number 34 was get Jade's mobile number. And there's a tick by it, so I think I got Jade's mobile number in the end, but I don't think that progressed any further. So yeah, have goals, and that then developed into kind of at the end of each year, kind of writing down. I did 25 goals for the following year, so that at the end of the year I could tick them off, and because it's 25, I could multiply it 4, and that would kind of give me a percentage score for the year. So that's what I've been doing. But again, going back to and this is how things have developed. It's making those goals. It's all well and good having like New Year's resolutions goals, but it's actually scheduling it in and breaking it down to monthly goals, weekly goals, so that you're constantly on that path to achieve those. Otherwise, it's just a list you look at once a year. You're like, didn't really get around to that. Maybe this year. So yes. The other thing I've been doing is, and this helps with kind of if there's ever kind of any, I don't know, adversity in your life. I've actually written letters to myself. It may seem a little bit sad, but I wrote myself a letter. This was in 2016, where essentially I think I was having a hard time, relationship stuff, and I kind of wrote myself a letter to open a month later. And it kind of said, you know, a month, it's kind of said, you're reading this a month from now, in the space of the month, this is what probably would have happened. And it kind of just helped me. When I opened it a month later, I was like, wow, okay, yeah, that's happened, this happened. It just kind of distracted me from what was going on. And the best thing I think I did was, at the very end, I put PPS, Happy New Financial Year, because it was around May, April time. and I put a £20 note in there. So I was like, oh, fantastic, forgot about that. So, so yeah, so kind of sometimes just writing your thoughts to read yourself a month later has really helped. And I've also kind of got a chart of like, I've almost again breaking down these goals, I've almost kind of created levels, so I can see, you know, which level I'm at, and the various aspects of my life. Another last three things. The other thing I've done is I've got a deck of cards, and on the top of every single one of these cards, I've written like a goal, aspiration. It can be a very simple thing, like you know, finish reading a certain book, or you know, a certain place in the world I'm yet to visit. And actually, every now and then, these live on my desk, and every now and then when I have a spare moment, I just kind of shuffle through the cards, read through them. And actually, when I was thinking about doing this yesterday, kind of shuffled through the cards, I was like, oh, I can tick off the three of spades. Done that now. So so yeah, there's yeah, that's another tool that kind of I've used. And in terms of other things, this I started using this and didn't get very far, but this is a great it's called the Best Self Journal, and it's got, this is what it looks like in terms of the template. But essentially it's got your day down the left hand side, so, and it's got like a schedule, what you're doing each day, so you can map out your day, you can track your day, how far you know, whether you stayed on track. Your goal, top right corner, so every morning you write your goal down, to kind of make sure that you're still working towards that ultimate goal. Today's target, so breaking it down to specific things for that day. It's got a motivational quote, and then at the end of the day, you know, what are your wins for the day, what have you learned today. And the other thing which reflects across some of these tools is a gratefulness. So when you wake up in the morning, spend kind of 5 minutes writing down what you're grateful for, and same again in the evening. The other one I have is, I don't know where it is now, but it's the 6-minute diary. And some people may want to use it kind of on a daily basis. I just pick it up once every few months, but it's a similar kind of idea. You kind of spend 6 minutes in the morning writing down what you're grateful for, how are you going to make today great. Then there's like a motivational quote, and then same in the evening, you know, reflection. What have I done today? What am I pleased with? I don't know where it is actually, but yeah, that's another tool. And I think that's all I have to share. So yeah, that's my kind of insight into my personal development journey.